Hydras online, which he was taking into anyway. He may have sped up that production after he saw that Stargate come online. But I think Az would have liked to have got perhaps 2, possibly even 3 Void Rays online before making that push. But because of that Overlord sacrifice, Az was forced to try this harassment at his front that he tried with that Void Ray, and no success at all. I would have thought that Az might think about sending his Void Ray in to try and snipe the Queen, try and catch these Hydras out of position, maybe even send his ground units to the front once he's forced the Hydras to withdraw, because you will see a lot of Zerg players, even at the highest level, will prefer to keep their army together and just without thinking will move their army as one. So to defend a Void Ray attack on the side of their base, they'll pull all of their forces and not just their Hydras, leaving the front of their base completely exposed. So I would have liked to see Az try and pull these ground forces away with Void Ray out the side and then try and do some damage to these drones with his ground forces. But no, as it stands, Az is in a pretty good position. He's just got this expansion up so much faster, and we're seeing this income disparity. It's massive, almost 2 to 1 here. Az is on 1500 compared to Filthy's 800 here. Massive income, 58 harvesters compared to 32. That contain completely slowed down Filthy's macro, and Az has just been chrono boosting his economy so well and just racking up drones at both his expansion and his main, getting a 3rd base online, although Filthy, always on the ball, catches sight of it, maybe thinking about coming around for a deny, and we're seeing Banelings come online for Filthy, who may be considering a complete bust here. There is only 2 pylons powering these cannons, although this additional pylon here able to power some of them, but for the most part, if he's able to bring these 2 pylons offline, he will knock out these side cannons and put himself in pretty good shape. But there is a lot of Stalkers as well as these Void Rays to contend with, so I'm not sure how successful the Banelings are going to be. A lot of Zerg players now are tending to use Baneling busts with Queens, sending your, like, I'd like to see him extend the creep if he's going to try that, but you'll see Zerg players sending a Queen at first just to take the hits from the cannons, and then the Banelings flowing behind it just to break these super effective Protoss Warlands. But now we are seeing Az move out his Stalker Void Ray Immortal Sentry army. I like this composition. The Immortals are going to do so much damage to the Roaches, but he shouldn't commit too much to the Immortals, because he did see that Hydra production coming in online, and the Hydras are just almost unaffected by Immortals bonuses there and their damage reduction, because Hydras, and they don't take the extra additional damage because they're not armored like Roaches are. So I do like the fact he's got some Immortals, but he's not committing too much into it. He's heavy Stalker. So I like this position from Az. He's just so strong economically, and he knows Filthy's got so far to catch up. He doesn't really need to do much right now, but we are seeing Filthy researching drops here. So we may see Filthy thinking about a Doom drop. He is rallying all his Overlords over to his forces here, so he could be thinking about a Doom drop to catch him out of position. But Az is moving across the map now, so we may be seeing a frontal clash whether Filthy likes it or not.
Yeah, I like the fact that Az is pushing out now that he has these Colossi out, because he is very much in the powerful position with having so much more army, so much more income, just all these things, and if he lets it leave any longer, he might give away that advantage. So I like the fact that he's pushing out. He's just kind of cruising around, just making sure there's no, I guess, another army hanging around. I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. He's even retreating back to his base, so rather than attacking, he's rather head back to his base and reinforce it a bit more. But yeah, I would really like him to see it push out with this force, because as it is now, there's just so many Banelings, and I mean even more being morphed in now, and he can really catch him out of position. Meanwhile, I mean, these Overlords are now full of Zerglings, so for Zerglings and Banelings. Now the Stalker's moving into the base with these Void Rays and Colossi ready to party, so have to wait and see how this works out, because I think Az has this, but he has to be very careful.
Yeah, we are seeing some burrowed Banelings just in the position where Az's army is going to commit. I like this. No observer with the army right now, so it means these Banelings could pop up and hit right into the heart of Az's line here without these Colossi coming to work. So I imagine this could be a really nice play. Guardian shields going up as these Colossi try to go to work. We are seeing loaded up Overlords coming to drop units closer, and one full Overlord going down, a few more going down as Filthy abandons his Overlord drops. Nice force field placement, cutting off these reinforcements while these Void Rays go to work. These Hydras desperately trying to get these Void Rays, and these Banelings not as effective as Filthy would like. They did do some damage, but his main army is cut off. Half of it was in an Overlord at the time. He still has more troops in Overlords here. 2 Overlords full here, but with this ball of units is just so strong. And now we're seeing Filthy try and drop onto Az's army, which he is doing, into the middle of it. And these Banelings going to work, but there's just so many units. And Filthy just recognizes how strong that position is and calls GG. So surprising end to that, but that opening contained by Az was just way too strong and put him ahead so far.
Yeah, great play by Az. You know, both games now very nicely, just, you know, very on the offensive with his Colossi, which do so much damage if they're protected. So no Vikings to take them out that time, so they wreaked havoc. JT, what do you think?
Very impressed with the play by Az, especially taking out the scouting overlord in his base and then switching from the air units back into 2 robos with 6 gateways. Very strong play, and it won in the game.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Now we're going to game 3, and Filthy is down 2 games, so Az is just continuing his dominance here. So we go to game 3 and see what happens. That's a wrap. Adios.